We're moving on to our Oriental pork ribs. So we're going to start with this, obviously, this beautiful cut of ribs, and we've got a little work to do before we get cooking.
Yes,
all right.
we have a little bit of work to do. So anytime you're working with ribs, you always want to make sure you take the membrane off the back. So that's going to allow the flavors of your rub or your marinade to penetrate into the meat.
I thought it was just about texture, but it's actually about allowing those seasonings to get in at the meat.
Yeah, so
too.
kind of works in a couple different ways. So you're going to find just a corner, and you can see it's a little bit shiny. You can definitely see it. So I've got a corner kind of lifted up here. It's always best to grab a paper towel. That way you can get a good kind of grip on it.
And then you just
And then you're just going to pull it all off.
Wow.
And look at that, it all came off in one pull.
Okay, yeah. That's what's supposed to happen?
That is what's
right?
supposed to happen. Yeah, so there you go.
Cool.
So after that, for this recipe, we're cutting the ribs into individual portions. So it's easiest to cut the ribs when they're on your cutting board like this, so you can see the actual rib pieces, and then you can see where you're going to slice.
I always feel like sometimes I will cut into the bone. Like I feel like I've got it all lined up the way I want it, and then it's like, oops,
It's deceiving.
Move over
Yeah.
just a little bit. Yeah.
So to flip them over like that is just kind of the easiest way. So, and then a little trick, because we're cooking them in the slow cooker, we're going to actually broil them for about 8 to 10 minutes per side.
Okay, so we have an oven step before we have the slow cooker step.
Yes.
So, and we've actually got some going in there,
Yeah,
right?
so we're going to put these in, pull those ones out. And this is actually an important step. It's going to add some color, it's going to add some flavor and texture to the ribs that the slow cooker wouldn't do.
Doesn't do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are great. So they've broiled on either side. They should have some nice color. And then we're going to layer these into the slow cooker.
Okay.
Thanks, Des.
So, how long was that in the oven?
So 8 to 10 minutes per side. So you want to flip them and halfway through and get them browned on either
both sides.
side.
Okay.
So we're going to layer them into the slow cooker, and then we're going to add our cooking liquid.
Okay.
And so what we've got in our cooking liquid already is a bit of orange juice, some light soy sauce, unseasoned rice vinegar, and sesame oil.
All right.
And to that, we're going to add fresh garlic.
Shall I get on this now?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
So the garlic, and then there's some red pepper flakes, some ginger.
Yep.
There's definitely some
Heat?
common ingredients here.
Yeah, and yes,
and then
common
brown
ingredients.
sugar.
All
And then
right.
so you're going to give that a good whisk. Make sure it's all incorporated.
Got it.
And then we're just going to start layering our ribs into the slow cooker. And the ribs are going to cook in the slow cooker in the sauce for anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. It kind of depends on how big your slow cooker is,
right?
How many ribs you're layering in. This recipe is for 2 racks of ribs.
Okay.
So that should be more than enough. So you can go ahead and pour some of that.
Yeah, and it's not like you just put all the ribs in and then you dump the sauce in. It's like you actually kind of.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nicer way to do it. That way you know that all the ribs have kind of had a touch of that sauce.
Like that much, or?
Yeah, sure. That looks good.
Could I be more awkward with this?
Yep, so then we'll just keep layering the ribs in.
Okay.
And so we want to cook these ribs, like I say, it's 3 to 4 hours, but we don't want the meat falling off these bones.
So this is something that I didn't realize, because every time the meat falls off the bone when I cook ribs, I'm like, yes, I did it right. But actually, the idea is that you're to hold it on either side, like the bone on either side, and you bite from the middle, and if the meat releases from just that part, then you've done it right.
That's right. That's how they judge.
That is how they
ribs,
judge.
If you're a barbecue competitor, so you
Yeah.
want to take a bite, and you want the meat to pull away from the bone, but you don't want it to be mush and all falling
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Which these will, of course.
Yes.
Okay, so you said 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, so 3
Okay.
to 4 hours in the slow cooker.
And then you said something afterwards, once this is done, then they come out and then you can thicken up that sauce with a little bit of cornstarch.
Yes,
at the
that's
end
right.
too,
So we don't want to lose any of that sauce. We're going to mix a little bit of cornstarch with some water.
Okay.
Thicken up the sauce, add the ribs back in, turn the slow cooker up to high so that it
Cooks
thickens
it up,
a little bit, and then garnish with a little bit of green onion.
Yes, peek at the market green onion with this recipe as well. So there you have it, Oriental pork ribs here on Great Taste of Manitoba, Asian made easy. When we come back, we get to meet another very hardworking Manitoba farm family that helps bring some of these incredible ingredients to your table. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching Great Tastes of Manitoba, filmed on location at Supper Central in Kenaston Commons.